Sports Minutes with Raushan.
Oh wow, an anthem that sparks memories of those great European nights and continental stars like Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo. But what if I told you, you and your social football team can have that very same experience of travelling for an away day match against continental opposition, plus the full shebang of the Champions League anthem, match commentary and broadcast coverage? Intrigued and interested? Well, you've come to the right place, as joining me today on Sports Minutes is Aaron Koch, the founder of 1896 Travel, who has taken football tourism to a whole new level. Aaron, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you for inviting me on the show.
Good to have you with us, Aaron. Now, your trips are designed to give amateur players a professional experience. First things first, what inspired you to create this concept?
At 1896 Travel, we have the chance to bring people to experience sports experiences, both from a watch and a play perspective. So while bringing people to watch like EPLs, La Liga, World Cup, I've always been kind of inspired. How do the players, or why do the players have this type of experience where fans and everybody have they get the adoration from all the fans. So that got me thinking whether could I replicate it to a social setting. Since I failed to be a professional football player, so I thought, hey, can I and my mates experience this? So that got us thinking and we started doing such things.
And when you talk about failed professional footballer, hands up, I was one too. So don't worry, you're in good company in that sense. Just moving away from this whole football travel, right? For a second, can you talk to me about your company? And I understand there's a bit of a storyline in terms of why you name your company as such. Tell me more.
So in the year 1896, that was the first Summer Olympics held in Greece. We thought that was a very strong story to why our company focuses on sports travel. We started in 2010 and we have done lots of trips. And in fact, in the recent Euros, we were the exclusive hospitality sales agent in Singapore. Hopefully, we will be able to bring more experiences to Singapore, to other parts of the world to experience or fulfill their sporting aspirations.
I'm just telling you in advance, I'm free next year if you need any coverage for the World Cup. No, jokes aside, let's talk about this footballing experience. You're bringing along referees to live commentary. It's truly such a holistic experience to what we are exposed to as fans, right? How do you recreate that atmosphere for the social footballers?
I actually see things at two levels. The first is at perhaps the basic infrastructure level. Getting the correct field, big proper fields, getting competent referees, getting even simple things like correct jerseys arranged. I find that these are some basic things that sometimes are forgotten. However, in a professional game, this will always be settled. So we ensure that these basic things are done. And then at the experiential level, we try to replicate as much as possible what a professional game would be like, where you have music, you have lights, you have sound. Unfortunately, I can't attract too many people to watch the game because we're not at a professional level. But the hype behind it, the excitement, the anxiety you have when you see cameras in your face while you walk out, that's the kind of feel that we want to create.
That's absolutely exciting. I'm getting excited just listening to you talking about it. Any memorable trip experiences that you want to share in terms of the clients you've had?
I think maybe 3 years ago, this was somewhere in Chiang Mai. We arranged a game at the Chiang Mai Stadium. Just before we came, there was a sporting event going on, and there were like 200-300 people who were attending the event. When we came, as Singaporeans, we come down dressed nicely, we walk into the stadium. We set out our table, we put out our banners, we started playing music. Then the fans started to stay behind.
Oh, wow.
Then, as we did a lineup, the walkout with the opponents, we played the Champions League song. As we played, the fans cheered. So that was quite crazy, right? They watched the game for the first 5-10 minutes. Almost every touch, they were cheering. But I think after a while, they realized that our standard not really there. So they started going off. And for the first 15-20 minutes, I shared that most of us were very anxious.
Yeah. I certainly can imagine. Imagine I play recreationally on a Monday and I get quite nervous when I have the ball with me. Imagine people cheering on. It must be quite nerve-wracking. But in terms of the experience, right, stepping away from that, what have you seen in terms of creating bonds and camaraderie in these teams through these travels?
Most of the trips that we done are with social groups or companies. And it's interesting because most of them have played with their mates over in Singapore. That's over a 2-3 hour game. But most of them have not seen the guy for like 24 hours times 3 times 4 days. So whenever there was a chance where we create such trips, and people on the trip, they spend their time together, eating together, drinking together, visiting occasions together, or experiencing different things together, the takeaway has always been very, very good. Yeah, most of them find it very memorable. And you can see the chatter on the group chats after that. It will be non-stop. And I find that a very, very good takeaway. Yeah, even for corporations, where the people might not know each other that well, it's a very strong platform to engage.
That's a very good point in terms of cooperation. Sometimes we log on for a Zoom call, but it ends there in terms of work meetings. And that friends thing, as a married man myself, you sort of lose touch with your friends almost. So to have that set aside period with them must be quite exciting. We talk a lot about within the team bonding, right? I want to find out, there's a cultural exchange element to this because you are competing alongside your regional neighbours, I shall say. Any standout moments in that front?
I think we experienced or we learned a lot about our neighbours when we play against them, even on the field. I've learned that Vietnamese are very, very tough, very hard, physically hard, but their never say that attitude is outstanding. Just on the field, you learn that. We learn from the Thais, extremely skillful. We all know that. But they are relentless. They will never stop running for you, for the team. So these, I think, attributes that spills out onto the field. Us as Singaporeans, I think platforms like this gives us a chance to better understand our neighbours.
And Aaron, tell me more in terms of the challenges that are involved in terms of organising these trips, because you talked earlier a bit about finding a proper pitch to play on, but it doesn't stop at that. You need good opposition. How do you go about identifying these things?
I think it's managing expectations from the Singapore team to the venue. We try our best to match opponents. Yeah. This can be across different parameters, from age group, from playing experience to how frequent do you play. We always struggle whenever we go to a new venue. And when we tell them, hey, we want to play some music, I want to get the Champions League song, we want to have live telecast, and has to build a stand with the camera. Most of them look at us, sir, what are you talking about? So these are things we manage around. Thank goodness, because we've done this quite a while, so we realize what are the best ways to do it. And most venues right now, which is in Southeast Asia, we have very good partners who can actualize what we want.
And is there a particular destination that seems to be high up the list in terms of the clients that come to you? Or do you suggest, hey, why not we go to Cambodia, for example, or Vietnam?
I think it's a balancing of both budget and the playing standards. Most Singapore social teams will recognize that Thailand and Vietnam teams are very good to play against. And their pitches are very, very good. So these two are the most popular destinations. We have done as far as Cambodia. We have done China. We have done Japan. We've done Indonesia for sure. Yeah, but these are a bit more, not as common.
And because you bring up price point, I just want to bump up this question almost in that sense where I read in your article with the Straits Times, despite the logistics involved, the travel involved, the cost seems to be fairly reasonable. How do you manage the cost in that way? And is it purposefully done that way so that more teams will participate?
First and foremost, I am a football fan. I am a sports fan. I enjoyed the experience and I hope to share this experience with people. So yes, we are a commercial company. We do profit out of it, but we keep things affordable by also being very transparent in our costing. You want this, you can have that at this price. For example, you want 10,000 fans to watch, but it's a better pricing. Yeah. So as long as the transparency is there, people know what they're getting into. So that can be something that can be arranged. Yeah.
That's fantastic. And if you're listening and you want to find out how you can engage Aaron's services, stay tuned till the end of this conversation. In the meantime, I want to ask you though, it's not just football you do basketball as well. Is that true?
That's true. So we have done basketball trips to the region. We also done it to Taiwan. This is from a play perspective. Basketball is a bit different from the football trips. Predominantly is because it's a smaller court. Yeah, everything is closer. Yeah. Basketball also has one more element which is quite fun, which is street basketball.
Okay. Yeah.
So we do it on the streets also.
Yeah.
So that one is a bit more ad hoc. It's not as formal a session, but playing with the locals at 10 p.m., 11 p.m. is quite an experience.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, a lot of people travel to sightsee, travel for concerts sometimes. Why not travel for something that means so much to you like sport, right? You mentioned there's an uptick in interest since the pandemic is over. Why do you think that's so?
To be fair, I think after the pandemic, travel has had a huge upsurge. Yeah. But I think from an experiential perspective, most people are looking for memorable things to do. Sports travel, both from watching your favorite team in action perspective or from immersing in a different culture, different country perspective, does bring back very good memories. So most of the people that have come with us are very clear that they want to do such things. Regional trips are standalone sports trips. However, the further away trips are usually as part of their longer trip.
And you talk about doing this in terms of doing what you love, right? I understand there's also an added charity element to it where some teams sign up to do good or give back to the society they're immersing themselves into. Any experiences to share on that front?
I think the intent behind that is also trying to create more experiences on the trip itself. Yeah. As part of our services, because we do quite a lot of school trips also, the charity element has always been something that we do quite well. So we started to extend that to our football playing trips.
Okay.
Yeah. To put a group of 20 guys in the 30s to 50s in front of a group of orphans or young children, there's a struggle. First 10, 15 minutes, you look at me, I look at you.
A bit awkward.
Awkward. If there are teachers around, that is quite okay. If not, there'll be a moment of silence, you'll be pushing here and there. But after a while, you will see, somehow the desire or the want to reach out to these people comes into play. Within half an hour, you'll hear huge fun, huge sounds, loads of joy. And I think the key when we visit such things is that we should bring joy to the people who are not as fortunate as us.
No, I absolutely love that. I think beyond having fun, it's about giving back, and you've added those two elements together. You've mentioned various destinations in terms of the trips that you are planning, right? Most of it seems to be in Asia, Southeast Asia, so to speak. Even Japan, I guess that counts as Asia. Is there scope or thoughts into expanding into England, Europe?
We know Europe pretty well. We do want to bring people to both UK, to La Liga, or to Spain, or to Germany. But it's always about the price point. To be fair, in a group of 20 guys, there's different spending ability. So regional trips are usually affordable. Yeah, and hence more people can go along. I think the balance between getting more people on the trip versus a further away destination, getting the numbers on the trip is definitely a much more important factor.
Aaron, since I have you, we've talked a lot about organising these trips, getting the band back together, the bros back together for this experience, right? There might be listeners who are thinking, wow, bro, 10 people at Khalsa are already very hard. How to plan for Phnom Penh or something like that? How are you going to convince them that this is a trip worth taking?
I think sports experience, especially for people who love sport, to be able to experience it locally is one level. To be able to experience it in a different setting against different culture, it brings up something which is very hard to be articulated. And if we could bring in the other flashy element of being like a superstar, that adds to the fun. At the end of it, what we want to create is memorable experiences. If ever you have a team which are short of a few people, let us know. We can always get more people along. The idea is to all go in with open mind, enjoy ourselves, create as much experiences as possible, and feel like a superstar. I can't guarantee on the playing like a superstar standard. That one I can't guarantee.
But it's about the experience, and as we heard earlier, that Champions League music, making your hair stand almost, right? Final question, how then can our listeners get in touch with you?
You can look for us on our website, 1896travel.com, or on our Facebook page, 1896travel.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Aaron, for sharing your incredible journey and vision with us. To our listeners, whether you're a footballer, a weekend warrior, or just someone who loves a bit of an adventure, 1896 Travel might be your answer. Aaron Kok, thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you very much for your time too.
Sports Minutes on Money FM 89.3.